Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're gonna. I guess this is for fun. A little fun video. Joe Rogan uh, finally snaps back at Marc Maron. But first, don't forget to share support. Hopefully, donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome. Just nothing pornographic or grotesque. That's all I ask. And obviously, I like to do a bunch of some newsy stuff, newsy content before I get to the main video. And the links for these will be sourced in the description box as well, so you can check them out on your own. I'm sure. Don't forgive me, Rogan fans, but part of me thinks like you're just gonna skip this part and just watch the Rogan part. It's like, damn it, I tried to sneak in some information out there. Either way, if you skip this and you watch the Rogan part and then maybe you're curious about what was in here, you can rewind the video or look into it yourself. All links will be in the description box. All right. Starting off with this, which is a pretty weird story. It says new details on Trump's quid pro quo to use El Salvador's mega prison that we helped build with your tax dollars, by the way. Wait, did we help build it? I know we were essentially like renting it almost, right? Where it's like, hey, put these illegal immigrants or whatever, possibly legal immigrants, put them in this building here.
That's basically what it is. It's just rent a prison
Yeah. Well, if there's some,
because that's where we are now.
well, there's some kind of sus stuff surrounding it. You can see this right here. El Salvador's president Bukele demanded the U.S. hand over 9 MS-13 leaders in exchange for access to the prison. Interesting. During a March phone call with Bukele, Marco Rubio noted a problem. Some of these men were informants to the U.S. and under U.S. protection, officials said. So, informants are the guys that are snitching to give our cops information to then catch more drug dealers or more drug trafficking activity, right? And I guess we're like, nah, fuck those guys. We'll exchange that just to lock up whoever the fuck we're trying to lock up, or just export them out of the country on your tax dollars, by the way.
Well,
So
part of the reason Bukele wants these guys back is because if certain rumors I've heard are true,
his own corruption.
they were about to say shit that could implicate him because it's pretty widely known that the government in El Salvador cuts a lot of deals with local crime bosses.
I have heard this as well. I was gonna get to that, but fair enough. I'll take it. Pause. But yeah, the that's an idea that I think someone with regular critical thinking skills and common sense would be like, oh, okay, he's like he's procuring the Epstein guys with the Epstein files to make sure it doesn't come out, basically. And who knows if these guys are even alive now, right? If they were sent over already, who knows if these guys are alive? I mean, it's just off our books now, essentially. They're not American citizens, right? and they're tucked away in a foreign country. So, but then again, corruption seems pretty easy for a lot of these government entities. But let's continue here. To deport them, AG Pam Bondi would need to terminate the DOJ's arrangements with those men. Rubio said he pressured Bukele that Bondi would complete the process and the U.S. would hand over the MS-13 leaders. Oh, so this hasn't happened yet. Let's keep going. In promising to terminate the informant arrangements, current and former Justice Department officials say Rubio threatened to undercut years of work by U.S. law enforcement to apprehend and secure the cooperation of high-ranking members of MS-13, one of the world's most deadly gangs. Nixing the agreements also threatens to damage the credibility of the Justice Department, which routinely relies on informants to build cases against high-level criminals, officials said. At least 3 of the MS-13 leaders Bukele requested have had divulged incriminating information about members of Bukele's government, officials said. One of them, Cesar Lopez Larios, was sent back to El Salvador 2 days after the Rubio Bukele phone call. Oh my dear lord! And I
What did
mean,
I just say?
exactly. This administration, I mean, so brazenly corrupt. I mean, brazenly. It's like it's.
I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, in fact, there's so many like on the surface corruptions that it actually distracts from all the other corruptions. Like, there's just so many of them that one's just hiding the other in a way. I'm not even saying that's on purpose. I'm just saying like there's just so many that you fucking end up scatterbrained. Like, what topic do I fucking look at here?
Well, a certain amount of that shit is on purpose.
And with some things, yes, for sure.
Because I mean, Trump's butt buddy Sloppy Steve said it himself. Just flood the zone, flood the zone, flood the zone, flood the zone. Because the idea is they can't document every stupid, horrible, terrible thing that we do.
I mean, let's be honest, Joe. The list of, once again, on the surface, not even like some hidden conspiracy, inside baseball politics thing, like on the surface, blatant corruptions. I mean, you could impeach the guy 30 times over. And
Oh yeah,
somehow, and once again,
no doubt.
this is not me, with Trump derangement syndrome. Like, I think Obama is as much a criminal as Donald Trump. But Obama had the idea to hide it, to actually like, hey, don't let anyone know I'm doing this. Trump is just like, fuck it, blow up a boat, middle of the ocean, blow it up.
Blow it up. They're trafficking drugs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Sad.
Where's your proof? Fake news organization. Who do you work for? Yeah, fake news.
I will not give you a question. You are fake news. It's a nasty question, Jordan. You should ask me a nicer question.
What's funny is that worked in his first term, but now he's been so over the top corrupt on the surface that even a lot of the MAGA people are like, yo, fuck this guy, bro. He's trash. When he says fake news, he's just not answering questions. We get it now. You can't trick us with this anymore.
I said this to Jordan before. I said this to Jordan before we started recording. Anybody who isn't like already ass deep in the Donald Trump cult, they've jumped ship on him.
Or at least we
They
hope,
have
right?
left.
At least we hope. I mean, I don't know how many brain cells you can like lose following the Trump, like being a fanboy or a fangirl of the Trump administration until you're like actually brain dead. Like, I don't know. That would be like a astonishing like science thing. Meanwhile, the people that are sticking by Trump, these guys are the neocons people were worried about for years. The reason why Trump even became popular as a politician in the first place. Right? He ran in the Republican Party, knocking down these fucking neocon, like typical neocon people, right? Gets into office, does the neocon shit. And in fact, brings these guys into his administration. I mean,
And anybody that happens to be doing a master's or a doctorate in psychology, just watch the news. Just watch the news. You will have terabytes of free material to work with for whatever the fuck you want to write about.
I mean,
Here's your subject.
Yeah.
Here's your fucking thesis. Go.
Oh yeah. But all right.
They're gonna be writing papers about this shit for decades.
But this is the thing. Like, I don't want it to stop there. Like, people did that with Bush. They kind of siloed Bush and were like, Bush is the worst thing ever. And then they fell asleep during Barack Obama's administration, where he did horrendous things that have directly led to what Trump's been doing. Like, directly. Once again,
Yep.
Trump has still not passed Obama's record of deportations. And no, they weren't like, hey, excuse me, ma'am. Yeah, can you go back to Mexico? It wasn't that. It was kick doors in, rough people up, throw them in vans, disappear them, get them out of the country. That was
Shoot people
under
in the
Barack
face with
Obama.
shoot people in the face with pepper balls. Fucking what else? Body slam a woman who's running for Congress in Illinois. Shout out to you, Kat Abagazele. I hope they didn't bust your spine anywhere.
Yeah. It's people need to really like figure that out because there's a lot of people that are just going to jump to the Democratic ship because of how bad Trump is, which means you're going to take more L's. I've seen it happen several times already, sadly enough. You'll jump from Bush to Obama, Obama to Trump, Trump to Biden, Biden to Trump. And now it's going
I
to happen
stopped
after
7
this.
wars. I stopped 8 wars. I stopped 13 trillion wars.
They're going to jump to a
Fuck.
Democrat and get fucked over again. That's what's most likely going to happen. And they're going to be just as bad as Trump is. And they're not going to know it because they'll be asleep for the first 3 years of the fucking administration. They'll be like, wait a minute, nothing changed. What the hell? Welp.
That's what you get for going out
Told
to
you.
brunch.
Exactly. But let's finish this story up. The deal is a deep betrayal of U.S. law enforcement whose agents risked their lives to apprehend the gang members, said Douglas Farah, a U.S. contractor who worked with federal officials to investigate and help dismantle the MS-13 gang. The State Department dismissed criticism of Rubio's deal-making, saying the secretary's diplomacy allowed the U.S. to deport hundreds of alleged members of the gang Tren de Aragua to El Salvador. Americans are safer as a result of these incredible efforts. Hundreds of you can't do that with alleged, guys. you can't say we made things safer with alleged danger. You can't say it. You can't guarantee safety with alleged danger. It has to be like you confirmed it somehow. But thus
It's
you
like a
say you
bad
made it safer.
cartoon.
Exactly. But the story will be here. I'll link this tweet there. He's one of the writers of the article. I know Washington Post, they suck ass, but it is what it is. Sometimes these guys have access, and it actually works out for us. A lot of times it doesn't, especially when they repeat, certain language that keeps us consistently entangled in crazy, unjust, immoral, devil-worshipping fucking wars. But let's continue. As you can see from the Prime Minister of Israel, following the violation of the ceasefire by Hamas, Prime Minister Netanyahu held a consultation with the defense minister and the heads of the security establishment and directed that strong action be taken against terrorist targets in the Gaza Strip. So, apparently, a couple of Israeli or IDF soldiers were killed in a bombing recently. And then obviously also the bodies, if you want to say that story, Joe, the bodies that haven't been recovered yet, and they're like, look, they have our hostages still.
Yeah, well, guess why they can't fucking find the bodies? Guess who's blocking the heavy construction equipment you need to move all the rubble? Here's a hint. It's not Hamas.
But they might turn them into weapons, Joe. So they can't let them have it.
Oh, the IDF beat them to the punch on that shit years ago.
Hey guys, here's some rubber bands and bubble gum. Find our hostages, please. We can't do that.
Here's some Elmer school glue and some Scotch tape. Get to work.
But this announcement,
I want that to be a joke, but this is where we're at.
yeah. And this announcement is but it's mostly based on the two soldiers, I believe, getting caught in a IED. And of course, without looking into it, without investigating, they just blame Hamas, which allows what to happen? Shit like this.
And actually, to the point of it being an IED, who's to say that who's to say that it wasn't just a piece of undetonated ordnance?
Well,
Because that's actually
that is
because undetonated landmines and bombs are a huge hurdle to any kind of reconstruction effort when a region's been destroyed this thoroughly.
Exactly.
For
But
further example, go consult anybody in Laos or Cambodia.
exactly. But they're going to. The story that they would call it is an IED because, uh, you know, anytime someone dies from an IED, they blame Iran because they say Soleimani's the creator of the IED. And obviously, they're going to say Hamas is owned by Iran. It's a proxy of Iran. So, thus, Hamas is using IEDs to kill IDF soldiers, right? And of course, the response is always uh, disproportionate. Let's call it that. And typically killing civilians and not Hamas people. As you can see here, the Israeli Air Force conducted 120 airstrikes on roughly 83 targets throughout the Gaza Strip, along with drone strikes aimed at specific individuals in the central and northern regions. And that is within a short span of time. So, yeah, welcome to Trump's ceasefire, where there is no fucking ceasefire. You don't see the ceasefire. Like it's in the word. Cease fire.
You cease, we fire. That's how you say that shit in Hebrew.
Well, there you go. And obviously, a number of people have died already. Aid was cut off. It was already cut in half.
I think 60-something people have died just since this fucking ceasefire was announced.
Yes. And believe it or not, that's actually less than when the heavy bombardments were happening before the ceasefire. But that's still significant amount of people in a short span of time like that.
Yeah, that's still really fucking bad.
Yes. And they are already at a place where they're already shooting and killing people, right? They blew up a fucking, what was it, like a bus or a van where mostly children were in it. Killed 11 people in that strike alone. Cutting off half the aid coming in. And it went from cutting off half the aid to cutting off all the aid when the alleged IED thing happened. But let's keep going because the story gets a little more interesting. Let me add this to it.
Worse.
Israeli media reports that following the resumption of Israeli military operations in Gaza, the courts have postponed Netanyahu's court testimony that was scheduled to be held this week again. Shocker. So when this guy has to actually stand some sense of trial or something like that, or make an accounting for these corruption charges, a bomb goes off, and he's, hey guys, I'm the president, I'm the prime minister, I gotta do this shit, bro. I can't be bogged down.
Happening.
Yeah. Hamas won't stop, man. They just keep going and going. Maybe that was Trump with the, come on, give him a pardon him. If we did something,
oh, I hate it.
If we did something horrible, Joe, is the president going to pardon us? No, no, he's not. No, he's fucking not. Unless it was something to help him out, or him or his friends out.
I guess now we're radical, far-left terrorists who want to destroy America from within.
They're wearing frog suits. Frog suits everywhere.
First he's going after the immigrants, then he's going after the homegrowns.
I notice nobody's mentioned that in a while.
The homegrowns.
Anchor babies.
Anchor babies. Oh, I'm wrecked already.
But, well, let's keep going because the story actually gets a little bit more interesting because in a lot of these reports and stories that get pushed out by all these different countries' state departments, a lot of times they bullshit for one reason or another. And the Israeli army announces that a company commander and a combat soldier from the Nahal Brigade's 932nd Battalion were killed in battles in Rafah, southern Gaza. Details surrounding the incident remain unclear, with Israeli media claiming that resistance fighters emerged from a tunnel and attacked them. Hamas's Qassam brigades said earlier today that it has not been in contact with its fighters in Rafah since March. Narratives circulating around the incident cannot be independently verified. Well, there's a reason for that. Because senior administration official tells me, the U.S. administration that is, Hamas did nothing. Israeli tank hit an unexploded IED that has probably been there for months. So, once again, without it's leaping first, evidence second. They leap out and do something, then it's like, oh, you're wrong. Oh, oops. Or, who cares? We've been seeing this in the oceans around Venezuela. They're blowing up boats, and then they're not even attempting to give us evidence afterwards. Not even attempting it. We don't know who the fuck these people are. We don't know what's on the fucking boats. They just blow them up.
Doesn't matter to them.
Exactly.
It's just like how destroying those boats isn't about the fucking drugs. These bombing campaigns and these tantrums over not having all the bodies. It's not about the fucking hostages. It never was.
Exactly, and they say that
Israel routinely murdered their own fucking hostages. I still remember this one story. I don't remember where it happened, but there was an attack that killed like 100 or so people, and 20 of them were named Israeli hostages.
Oh, I believe it.
So
I've heard the
spare
reports.
me.
Yeah, and within their country, they talk like the hostages don't matter. That's why a lot of people there got pissed off and started rallying. Like, we want our fucking hostages. End the fucking war. We want our hostages. But yeah.
This is to be their longest invocation of the Hannibal Directive ever.
I mean, and let's be honest, it's when I talk about like levels of corruption where one corruption distracts from the other, it's like we all know the real answer to this thing, which is bring in third-party investigators to investigate every little claim that's brought up, to identify every fucking body they can find, all of it. Bless me. God damn it.
You alright, man?
3 hours of sleep. My nose runs. It is what it is.
I ask again, the fuck is wrong with you?
Heaven. Heaven is wrong with me. That makes sense.
Clearly.
Whatever. I have an excuse. I'm tired. Anyways, yeah, like this would be the obvious answer to all this stuff. Investigate. Then you can find out. You can find people if they're buried under rubble, or autopsies on bodies that have bullet holes in them, or whatever the fuck. You can find out like what weapons did what, where'd they come from, whose shrapnel looks like this, or unexploded bombs are like this, or who did what, where, and when. You could at least try, because the way it looks, the entire Gaza Strip is a fucking crime scene right now. But they're still just mowing shit down. It's incredible. And people either leap to like, oh, just defund Israel, or oh, fund Israel, or we got to support Israel, or whatever the fuck. It's like, let's go to, like, for me, my personal thing would be like, yeah, you're not getting a fucking cent if you're doing shit like this. No fucking way. But I'm saying, like, let's just kill all that about the opinions part of it and go with the actual answer for all it. Investigate. How come there's no investigation? There's no reports about this stuff. How come that's not the case?
An excellent question.
It's incredible. But we leap right to guilty or innocent every time. It's like, like, let's kill all that noise and like really just go towards the obvious solution, or part of the solution at least, in my opinion at least. But yeah, another case of we're looking for any excuse to continue destroying Gaza because we want that fucking land. We fucking want it.
World people are gonna live here.
I mean,
World people.
And that's the other thing.
Mhm.
It's been a few months since he said any of this, so might not be fresh in everyone's head. But Trump has said before that basically he wants the U.S. to own Gaza.
Well, yeah. And by U.S., he means his business buddies. That's what he means.
Yeah.
Not you, business buddies. And they'll probably, here's the thing, it'll be these billionaires dumping money into Gaza for quote unquote reconstruction, but in reality, it's like, real estate deal type of stuff, right?
They want to turn this shit into a fucking playground, essentially.
Yes. And I can almost guarantee the U.S. would pony up some money to throw in there as well. But guess what? That return on investment is not coming back to you. It'll probably come back to more private hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You could have, Larry Ellison, right, Oracle, investing in Gaza, right, with all their tech and smart cities and all this bullshit, right? And then the U.S. will put some money into, this is for charity to help out the poor Gazans, right? And what they do is they send money that way to purchase Oracle shit. It doesn't come back to you. Just like when we give money to Israel and they buy our weapons, it's not our shit. They buy it from these giant, Raytheons and Boeings and shit like that. And XAI and Google and Microsoft and all that shit. Right? We give them money to buy American shit. But it's not us American, it's those guys American. These filthy rich, quote unquote, one percenters that run these industries. They're getting rich, and they're going to probably come up with the excuse that it'll trickle down to you. Don't worry. One day, one day that $100 that went to Raytheon will trickle down right into mommy's bank account one day. Like, no, it fucking doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't.
It's been 40 years since fucking Ronald Reagan fed everybody that lie. I think it's time we graduate from it.
Yeah, but let's be real. No one's looking at it. No one's looking at it. Well, I mean, like, people that are helping support this fucking Trump administration, they're not looking for that shit.
Well, they benefit from it.
Well, there's a lot of people that have no idea. They're just dummies. They don't know. And they're brainwashed, so thus they support the orange penguin. When in reality, they're not actually benefiting. In fact, it's harming them because it's their kids that get sent off to war somewhere.
Yeah.
It's their
Do you have any further
paychecks.
questions?
It's their wages that stay stagnant. Like they're getting shit on too. They just don't realize the whole thing that's happening around them. But yeah,
Further information, consult your nearest soybean farmer.
exactly. Those guys, some of those guys look like they had that look on their face, like there's no way this is happening. What the hell? It's like, yeah, this guy doesn't care about you, bro, at all. He doesn't give a fuck about you.
He never did.
But, all right. Just wanted to share that I hope people who are maybe new to this channel, but they also watch Joe Rogan, and then they see somehow this video gets, I don't think a lot of my stuff gets recommended too often, but if it does, and you see this, I hope you stayed for this whole portion here. Because these are news stories. Like, once again, if you hear certain things, like when you look up different information, you hear about it, and then you go watch the Joe Rogan podcast and realize that you're getting nothing. There's nothing. None of that shit's in there. There could be like maybe one or two guests you see every so often that they're actually like quote unquote informed about this stuff, and they give some insight. But for the most part, I don't think so. Right? How did somehow Ian Carroll gets on there to say nothing to me? Shit we already fucking knew, kinda, but also explained in a poor way.
I still regret sitting through that Ian Carroll video, by the way. I feel robbed.
I mean, I got to make fun of K to the C, so I think I won. Hello, Ghost.
Hello.
Nice. You definitely won there, Jordan. So, small victories.
I sound like I'm underwater again. Man.
Oh, your audio is so bad. I am
You
recording
sound
right
like you're
now,
try-
just so you know.
you sound like you're trying to talk through a pillow.
Yeah, I'm recording, so don't tell anyone about your fetish for big black cocks.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not,
if I
I'm
wasn't
not
small.
judging, just keep it clean.
Yeah. And no one
Wait.
posts that shit in my Discord, by the way. No one posts that shit, all right? It's not allowed.
If you post
What?
that shit, you're getting put in timeout for a day.
Exactly. All opinions welcome.
Oh god.
Which I do know how to do.
I'll be right back.
All right, so let's move on to the quote-unquote main event. My eyes already just rolled as I said that. From Too Lazy to Try, as you can see, the George picture in the corner. Too lazy to try, bro. A beer, chips on the fucking shirt. You're good. And his video titled Joe Rogan finally snaps at Marc Maron for trashing him and his friends. Now I'm hoping this goes in a lane of something where it's like something in the lane of morality or politics or somewhere there where I can feel like I'm getting somewhat of a nutritious meal. But if it's pure gossip, I might just sit through it because I think the first portion of the video had important information in it. But all right, without further ado, let's play this shit. Here we go.
It's just addicted to these arguments that people have constantly every day, calling people assholes and losers, and you're just carrying around all that bullshit with you
How'd you
all
believe
day.
that?
That's exhausting.
Which is
dude.
why I don't do it. I mean, I could go in on fucking every person
I thought
that
nobody
ever
told
wronged
Joe
me
Rogan
or
what
this,
to do.
that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
said bad things
Oh,
about
yeah.
me, like, and it's just like super unhealthy.
Well,
super
we know
unhealthy
people
for you.
our age who are still doing that shit.
Just want to say that's absolutely incorrect, in my opinion. Because if you mean it, you should feel express it if that's what you're really feeling. I think hiding things is actually unhealthy. Like imagine Joe Rogan just has this intuitive sense, like this guy's a fucking asshole, but doesn't say it in any way, doesn't ask questions, doesn't dig into it, just buries it within his own psyche. No, I gotta be nice. I gotta be nice. Like that is actually unhealthy. But he may not be saying that exactly, but either way, let's just keep going. Here we go.
Of course.
Not-
Don't,
Comics.
Not
Mark
speaking
Maron,
the truth
don't
is
say
how
it.
a lot of bad things have happened
I mean, I don't get it.
Just-
in our
he's
history as a
sad.
species.
He's sad. He wants other people to hurt. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
It's just
you
not
know?
charitable. It's
Well, it's also he's
Wants other people to hurt.
pathologically jealous. Like he's been he's like literally mentally ill. The thing is that Maron's podcast, which
I
was
think you
number
could say
one,
the same thing about
isn't
the guy
even in the
he
top
endorsed for
100
president.
anymore. I don't even think.
He just wants other people to hurt.
I'm gonna play that part because I think we missed him just calling his name out. Let's play it. Here we go.
And it's just like super unhealthy.
well,
super
we know
unhealthy
people
for you.
our age who are still doing that shit.
Of course, don't
Comics.
Marc Maron, don't say it.
I mean, I don't get it.
He's sad. He's sad. He wants other people to hurt. That's what it is.
It's just
What?
not charitable. It's
Well, it's also he's pathologically jealous. Like he's been he's like literally mentally ill. The thing is that Maron's podcast, which was
What?
number one, isn't even in the top 100 anymore. I don't even think it's in the top 200. It went away. And it went away not because he did anything. He didn't get arrested. There was no scandal. People just stopped being interested in it. And I think that hurts the most. And
why did they stop being interested?
it's
in
not good.
All right, so it looks like
Damn.
I fucking love the picture of George there. It's art. It's perfection.
And by the way, it's not even beer. I think it's root beer, right? That mug, right? That's root beer.
Yeah, I think that's fucking mug root beer. They still make that shit, by the way.
Awesome. But yeah,
In case
that
any
was
of you
very
guys need
harsh.
prop.
Now, here's the thing. Joe Rogan probably was feeling this for a while now, right? He didn't come up with that yesterday, right? He's probably feeling that thing. He just brought up details, meaning like he looked into it and shit, right? It's like, that's what I mean by that bottled up shit. And what's his response to it? You're just jealous that I'm successful and you're not. You're losing it, which is like where it's like almost the way he's expressing it sounds like some sort of deeper thing, but it really sounds like actually petty in words, at least. It sounds very petty. It's like, I'm more successful than you. It's like a rapper, like a rap diss track where it's strictly about how much more money I make than you have. How many more bitches do I fuck, huh? Right? That's what it
Stick
sounds
waving.
like. And it's like, really, Rogan? So the time you actually call someone out and get a little bit ticked off and you say something, this is what you're seeing? This is what you were thinking the whole time? This is what you couldn't hold back? This is the thing? I would hope it'd be like, hey man, I know the CIA guy comes on here and lies to all of us to trick my audience. I would want to hear that frustration, but instead it's, you're just jealous. Negative and jealous. Like, what the fuck,
Hey,
dude?
Jellison.
What the fuck? Alright, that's just weird. And by the way, we just saw, or I just did a video, covered a Kyle video where he's watching Marc Maron with Barack Obama, and it's like, he does have Barack Obama on there. I'm not a fan of Barack Obama, but you gotta have some sense of celebrity to you to get an interview with that guy, right? You can't just be some random. Like, Obama will never join this Discord ever in his life. It'll never happen. Not because he's too scared, but also we're nobodies, right? When it comes to the podcast world. But he is. I mean, that is a big name to get on your show, while also not being, so popular anymore, I guess. That's okay. Just weird hearing Rogan go straight petty like that instead of like something of like the times I've heard him like get uppity with people. It seems like there's more substance behind it, at least in words. This one, nah. It's just very weird. But let's hear Too Lazy to Try's analysis. Here we go.
Joe Rogan finally proved that he's not above shit talking, even though, of course, he still somehow tries to act like he's above it. He goes from saying he doesn't hate on people who have said bad things about him to spending 20 minutes going off on Marc Maron. So he finally just snapped. And of course, he's way more tuned in to what people are saying about him than he wants you to believe. And he's definitely not above drama. Because usually Rogan tries to avoid feeding into any beefs with other comics or saying anything bad about them, publicly at least. Like Maron, he's been trashing Joe for around a decade, and Rogan would rarely acknowledge it on his show. But it looks like Maron's last special, where he made a joke about Theo Vaughn, and the media tour he did, where he was trashing the Rogan sphere every chance he had, really got to Joe, and now the gloves are off. I mean, he must have been holding this in for years, and he finally just ran out of patience because he was ready to go. Like, he was prepared. He mentioned a Reddit post that was criticizing Mark's podcast, and he knew this weird stat about his comedy shows, and he's aware of everything Mark said about him. So Rogan acts like he's above all the haters and doesn't care what people think about him. It's all just noise. But it turns out he's human, and he's actually pretty invested in what Mark, and I'm sure a lot of other people, are saying about him and his crew. And even before this, that was already starting to show. Like last year, Joe thought Mark was trashing Bert Kreischer, and he sent Bert a message and told him he needs to stop being friends with Mark. So now I think just all the criticism of the Rogan sphere and the Austin comedy scene has reached a boiling point for Joe. And I think specifically comedians that have been mocking him and his crew got to him the most, because now it's not just Mark. There are a good amount of prominent comedians that goof on him, which their opinions mean more to Joe than just a normal civilian's opinion. And Joe desperately wants to be seen as a respected comedian and be respected by comedians. So I think it hurts him the most when comics are trashing him. And now that that's kind of become mainstream and Maron's getting more attention for it than ever, Rogan finally felt the need to respond. I think Rogan realized a lot of people are actually starting to agree with Mark now, and that's why he needs to point out that Mark is just a miserable and jealous hater. And also, it's hilarious. Rogan decided to respond right when Maron ended his podcast. I'm sure that's definitely another reason why he responded now. And Joe thinks Mark's podcast falling off is a big reason why he's so bitter. Because apparently, early on in podcasting, when Mark had the #1 podcast, Joe said that's when he's the nicest and he stopped talking shit about people. But then once Joe and other podcasters started passing him, then he went back to his old ways. And Joe said it's the same thing with stand-up. Mark has a falling out with everyone who does better than him. So Joe saying this stuff is definitely going to set Mark off. And he's probably going to want to bring his podcast back after he hears this, just so he can rant about Joe every episode.
Like, do you understand? Mark
So, yeah, I think Rogan does look into things on the side, but keeps it close to the chest, if you will. He smells like he might talk shit about people when they're not around. Like, it might be like a.
I can buy it.
I could believe that. But the thing I wanted to point out was, if anyone remembers, Joe Rogan had the old owner of X or Twitter, Jack Dorsey, on, right? That's his name, Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey.
And Rogan just gave the most pillow soft interview of all fucking time with this guy when people were like, "Yo, they're banning people for speech for bullshit reasons. People are being banned. Mainly, people were complaining from the conservative side, but it was everyone. It was left, right, anyone being critical of, the kind of governmental apparatus, if you will. And at the time, when you have the whole SJW thing, right, and you could say quote unquote Democrats or liberals are kind of like, they run the mainstream media. They're starting to lean in these directions, SJW directions, right? And then we heard later on about the Biden administration in tandem with Twitter trying to, and other social media people, right, Facebook and all that, trying to kind of put the hammer down on conservatives. But yeah, most people, all different sides were being banned at the time, and Rogan didn't really ask any questions about it. He didn't really dig into it at all. It was just kind of like a hangout. Meanwhile, this guy, everyone's aware that this guy has done something that people consider unethical. So Rogan got a lot of backlash. And when he says, "Hey, man, you got to be positive. You can't read negative comments." Well, I guess he read them that day, which means he probably reads them more often than you realize. Or maybe he doesn't read them. Maybe he looks at the thumbs up and thumbs down. Maybe he looks at those every so often. He's like, "Huh, what? I got ratioed. Oh, no." So then he brings in social media expert and freedom of speech expert, Tim Pool, to deal with Jack Dorsey. And thus the phenomenon of Tim Pool grew even more, right? That kind of launched Timmy Pool right there, actually, who's also a full shit grifting motherfucker, right?
Yeah, launched Tim Pool, and it caused the IQ of our whole society to slip another 20 or 30 points.
Yeah. But I think
Shit.
Rogan's aware a lot more. Like, he claims, I just avoid the negative stuff. I think he sees a lot more than he wants to say out loud for whatever reason. I don't know. It's not healthy, Joe. You should investigate anything you want to investigate and talk about whatever you want to talk about. You kind of have you have a fuck you life, basically, right?
He's got fuck off money.
Yeah, he's chilling. If one thing fires him, he has another thing. If the UFC fired him, he has all his other shit. If he gets banned from YouTube or banned from podcasting, he has all these other things. You're chilling, bro.
Unless he's as bad at budgeting his money, as long as he's not as bad at budgeting his money as fucking Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair, he'll be fine.
No, he's fine because the money is consistently rolling in, and it's not based on age either, right? Like Hulk Hogan has to retire from wrestling at some point. He'll get too old. This other stuff he could do for so many years, right? The money will keep rolling in unless he gets caught with some sort of scandal or something like that. Other than that, he's fine. I don't know why he doesn't just say his opinion more often. Not that I care to hear the petty stuff. I want to hear more of, yeah, man. Some guy just said, "Hey, yeah, we need to go blow that place up right in front of your face," and you didn't pick up on it or something. You don't realize. then he'll do another podcast where he's explaining how, like, hey, sometimes people talk like this, and they're really saying we should go to war with these guys. Like, how do you recognize that there when you're sitting in front of Duncan Trussell, but when some guy named like Brian Anderson or Mike, what's his name, Mike Baker, say, hey guys, in front of you, all of a sudden you forget these things. And it's like, it's probably for the sake of being cushy and not being negative. And it's just fucking annoying and boring. That's why I don't really watch his shit anymore. But yeah,
That's a nasty thing to say, Jordan. Why didn't you say something nice?
Sorry for being real and honest. I apologize. I'll lie to your face next time. All right. Let's keep going. There we go.
Back after he hears this, just so he could rant about Joe every episode.
Like, do you understand? Mark, when he first started, when he was just first coming up, was friends with Mitch Hedberg, and then Mitch Hedberg hit, and he couldn't be friends with him anymore.
Really?
Yep. Stop being his friend. Same thing with
shit.
Louis C.K. Louis C.K. and him were tight. Louis blew up. Mark didn't. He had to fucking hate him, and he turned on him. Talked shit about him openly. And then he became successful. And the years where Mark was successful were the best years of Mark, because Mark was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had ups and downs with Mark. I've gone through this with him like 3 or 4 different times, where he gets upset at me, and then we talk, and then, are we good? We're good. Like, he likes to do that. He likes to talk shit about you, and then you confront him, and he says, you're right. And with me, my relationship with him was really complicated, because when I was an open micer, I was 21 years old, and I was just starting out. Mark gave me a compliment once that really helped me. He came up to me, and he goes, hey, man, you're really funny. He just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to anybody else. Just keep doing what you're doing. I was like, wow, thank you.
That's his best side. That's the good side.
It is not all bad.
No.
And he was a young guy back then, right? So he was just being cool. And then over time, obviously, I became more famous than him and more successful than him. And he does not like that. He fucking hates that.
Probably
And the
not
only
because of
time
comedy,
we were
though.
Cool was when Mark was number 1. So Mark, the podcast took off, and you got to realize
I
it took
love
off when he was deep into his 40s, right?
Love the
And
complete
it was the number
absence
1.
of any introspection on Joe's part whatsoever.
I mean,
Are we the baddies?
but
It's
hey,
Kate and C, Jordan. Are we the baddies?
listen, I'm no fan of Marc Maron. I've never even seen his stand-up before. I've seen a little bit of some of his podcasts. I've seen him on Joe Rogan podcasts years ago. He's like, oh, whatever guy to me. But saying that, it's like, I don't know. It's like a Rogan, like I don't know. I guess he's just spilling, right? And it's like starting to waltz towards that gossip area where I'm like, fuck my life. Why am I watching this? But let's hopefully it goes somewhere, but it's starting to smell like gossipy bullshit. But all right, here we go. Which is their, like, I'm not trying to dismiss their lives or the importance of these guys dealing with each other, but it's like, I feel like should be for them. You know? It'd be personally, yo, just go talk to each other. Fucking dingbats. Anyways.
And no reason to put all this shit up in public.
Oh, they could do whatever they want. Just like, I want nothing to do with it, basically. But whatever. We're here. I'm doing this for the earlier videos and earlier news stories. Hopefully this goes somewhere. But if it doesn't, I'll find a way to dig into psychology, philosophy, something. Just to dig into it, because this might not go there. Might be pure gossip. But all right. Here we go.
Podcast in the country, and he was on Rolling Stone magazine, and he had his own show on IFC, the Maron Show, and he was fucking great. He was cool to hang with. He was fun because he didn't have to compare himself to anybody anymore, because he was a success. Like, he could look at his own success. He was doing a television show, he had his podcast, everything was great, and we were cool. Like, we were friends. Like, I'd see him, I'd give him a hug, I'd say, what's going on? We would talk. We're friendly at the store. We never hung out off site, but we were friendly. Like, we had pushed all the beef aside, and he even did my podcast. We had a great time. And then I started getting more successful. And then my podcast passed his. Then my podcast became number one. And then the Spotify deal. And that's when he started talking shit about me. So he started talking shit about me long before
100
all
mil.
this Trump stuff. This Trump stuff is just the most recent iteration of this bizarre thing that he does with people.
And I'm sure Mark's going to flip out over this.
Hopefully they address the Trump stuff then. Like, what did he say about Rogan with the Trump stuff? Was there legit criticism that you have to actually address Rogan? Or was it, oh, Mark's just being Mark. He's just jealous and mad. And that's why he's bringing up Trump in regards to me. Like, or it could be that you had that guy on, didn't ask him any tough questions. If you did ask some, like, borderline tough questions, Trump just avoided them, and you just let it happen. And then you voted for the guy, then you're at the inauguration, and you're seeing him at UFC events, and yada, 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 and this guy's out here killing babies. Literally. I don't know what Marc Maron's point of view is, but if it's in that neighborhood, sorry, Rogan. I don't care if he's being a petty, jealous little fuckface. I think you should answer that. Answer for it. And not just dismiss it. Because plenty of people say that in regard, like in the political world. Like Kyle Kalinske, we've seen Kyle Kalinske, right? Going off about it all the time about Rogan and some of his political takes or political decisions, right? And his lackluster interviews. People have been saying that. But you pointed out Marc Maron, right? So maybe address him to make sure everyone realizes, like, oh no, it is about jealousy. It's not about politics. It's not about, some of the actions Joe has done or some of the dick lick interviews he's done. Maybe it's something different. I'd love to see that. But, all right, here we go.
We're not gonna.
We're not gonna. Well, maybe they're too lazy to try. Although the name will say that's not gonna happen. And let's be honest, I'm feeling pretty lazy right now to myself. So, but maybe he'll play. I don't know.
It's
Here we
okay,
go.
Jordan. I'm lazy too.
All right, here we go.
Bizarre thing that he does with people.
And I'm sure Mark's going to flip out over this, but also he's probably a little satisfied knowing he's really getting in Rogan's head. I mean, this goes on for almost 20 minutes, which is wild because normally Rogan tries to avoid talking about any conflict between comedians. He never really wants to call out comics anymore. Like he used to back in the day, with Carlos Mencia and Jay Moore. Rogan ruined those guys. Like he used to be able to destroy careers. But I don't think he's really called out a comic like that since Jay Moore. So that's why this Maron beef is a pretty big deal. Shit's getting serious for Rogan. Because also at this point, why even address it? Like if Maron's a washed up comedian who's had a failed podcast and nobody listens to him now and he's just a hater, why not just let him fade into irrelevancy? So Rogan must think of him as more of a threat now than ever. And also Joe said he got really pissed about that joke Marc Maron made on his special about how Theo Von would do a podcast with Hitler. Because apparently that sent Theo into a spiral. So
when's this stand-up from? Bro, I swear I said that shit years ago. That's what the person... Okay. One of the commenters. I'm going to call him Yee. I'm going to call him Yay. Yay in my comments. I made a reference about... like Rogan would sit down and interview Hitler and... Wow. How'd you get rid of the bodies, though? Oh, wow. Okay. You could fit that many people in a furnace like that? Whoa. And I swear that joke was said, not even like on YouTube. I probably said it on YouTube before, but me and James would joke about that shit all the fucking time.
Didn't Larry David write a bit about this after Trump appeared on the fucking Joe Rogan show?
I don't know. I didn't hear Larry. Did he? No, maybe I did hear something. I don't remember though.
I'll have to go look for that later. I remember it being pretty funny.
Like, let me take you through a minor history here. Like, I was watching Joe Rogan very early on, like when he's not famous for podcasting, right? He's known for Fear Factor. Right, he's known for like Fear Factor, kind of UFC, and kind of comedy, right? Then you have like the whole, like you said, what's fuckface's name? Carlos Mencia. That
Yeah.
whole incident kind of blew up, right?
Up to that point, I think him dismantling Carlos Mencia was probably the most famous he'd ever been. Up to that point.
Possibly, probably. But I would watch his and listen to his podcast because it was fun. He had a lot of comedians on, like initially, or like mostly comedians, and once in a while you have like a political guy on. But, yeah, that's interesting too, like a Michael
Back
Rupert
then,
or
because
Peter Joseph.
I've gone back through like bits and pieces of his old podcast episodes, and he would just have people from all over the place on.
Yeah,
Like I think at least once he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on.
that is a little bit more towards the recent than like the early days that I'm talking about, where it's like Rogan there with a laptop, and they're just sitting there talking shit and
Oh, okay. So you mean like really fucking early on? All right.
yeah, like
My mistake.
selling fleshlights days, like that those days.
Fuck.
And later on, I was still watching when he like really started the channel, like the podcast was really starting to grow, and then at some point, like the more I was like, man, like why is Mel Gibson here? Like, or what? Or it'd just be like weird, like random shit. This is when James started calling him like the new Johnny Carson. So it's like where it's like kind of like a late night host in a way.
I never knew about that.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's like it was like less about interesting things and more so about, hey, my agent talked to your agent and they said, yo, let's do lunch, aka let's do a podcast together. Right? It'll benefit both of us because I got a book to sell, or I got a movie to sell, or I got a political campaign to sell, or whatever the fuck, right? And we would make fun of him, and one of the jokes is like, yeah, even Hitler could sit in front of this guy, and he'd be like, oh, really? Whoa, wow. How'd you gas that many people, huh? Whoa. That's so interesting. It's like, yeah, he just dick slobbers whoever the fuck is in front of him. And it's like, that's when around the time where I'm like, increasingly more and more like not watching his shit. And this is the days where it's like, I kind of like Kyle Kalinske, I kind of like Jimmy Dore, right? And those guys would get spots on the show, right? But, oh, so it's like kind of balance. I can hear some of the political things where, okay, maybe Rogan's trash, but his guest might be someone worth listening to. Abby Martin, I love Abby Martin.
Abby Martin's fucking great.
Yeah, and she's beautiful. But yeah, I'd listen to their shit. Like, okay, Rogan's like, Rogan's whatever. I'm here to listen to these people. Or you have like presidential candidates. I remember Bernie and Tulsi were on there. Or people shitting on political candidates like Barry Weiss or whoever, right? So it's just like interesting to hear the guests say certain things in long form to where they do actually, there are moments where they do fuck up, right? They say the wrong idea out loud and they just, not from Rogan, but from the audience, they instantly get like scrutinized, right? I thought that was like interesting. But yeah, the Hitler joke, I did not hear that from Marc Maron. I wonder what special he said that in. But yeah, we were saying, like, I thought it was just obvious.
I know almost nothing about Marc Maron, so I'm kind of going into this totally blind.
I've never
Which
seen
in a way is
before,
a good thing because I don't got any ideas about him in my head or nothing.
Yeah, I'm like mentally like reminiscing a bit, not in like some the good old days, just more of like, what else have I seen? Like I saw Abby Martin before she was Abby Martin on Rogan's podcast. Very interesting. With this guy named David Seaman who is running for office. Yes, his last name is Seaman. That guy turned into a Pizzagate conspiracy theorist. I kid you not. He turned into a Pizzagate conspiracy theorist.
You said Seaman.
And he started scamming. It looked like a scam that the guy was running. It looked like he was like scamming people on the internet. where he'd be like have like a hot chick with him that he probably paid. Say, hey man, you want to live like this? You know, follow my
A
channel.
scam on the internet? I'm shocked.
But
In fact, I'm shaking.
and that scammy dude was around someone like Abby Martin, and yeah. But I mean, once again, I'll say I like Abby Martin, but I leave room for anyone to be a fuck up too. I leave plenty of room for all that shit. But overall, like she smells more genuine than a lot of other people. Whether she's right or wrong, she smells more genuine about it, in my humble opinion. And that's why I like her. But either way, let's continue here. That's what Ye was saying in the comments. I don't think I realized what he was saying. Maybe I did. I don't know. I never heard this before. I never actually heard Marc Maron stand up. And I guess it was about Theo Von. Okay. Here we go.
Relevancy. So Rogan must think of him as more of a threat now than ever.
God,
and
I
also
can
Joe
feel the
said he
3
got
hours
really
of sleep.
pissed about that joke Marc Maron made on his special about how Theo Von would do a podcast.
Hear me
with
like
Hitler,
extra rambling.
because
It's weird.
apparently that sent Theo into a spiral. So Mark
not
is
about to
wreaking
tell you to
havoc
stop.
on these people. Like it's
Pause.
crazy. He has
Fun.
Joe Rogan
Super
now acting
pause.
like sometimes jokes go too far, and Theo Von is off limits. You know, it's funny that Rogan will praise Tony Hinchcliffe nonstop for roasting random open micers. But then if a comic makes a joke about Theo Von, it's like the end of the world. So Rogan gets defensive about Theo here and says Mark just made the joke
Theo's
because
a
he's
dummy
jealous of
too.
Theo, which he probably is
Could be a
jealous
nice
of
guy.
Theo. But also I think Rogan's kind of coping here because he also proves the joke was accurate. It's so funny. He's like, Mark said Theo would have Hitler on. Does he really believe
I've heard
that?
some,
Does he think that's true?
some
Come on,
less
Theo
than
has
flattering
anyone on his-
things about who Theo Von is as a person when he's not in character, so to say.
Oh, I saw the little bar thing, but that could be someone like maybe feeling threatened or someone trying to intimidate them and they react a certain way. I don't know. He could be an asshole.
Yeah.
He could be a nice guy. Either way, I think he's a dumb. His character he plays or the real him on that show smells like a kind of a dummy to me. But all right, let's continue.
jealous of Theo, which he probably is jealous of Theo, but also I think Rogan's kind of coping here because he also proves the joke was accurate. It's so funny. He's like, Mark said Theo would have Hitler on. Does he really believe that? Does he think that's true? Come on, Theo has anyone on his podcast. He'll talk to anyone.
He also lies. Like one of the things he lied about, he did a podcast with Howie Mandel, and Howie Mandel asked him if he had problems with comedians. Like, no, I don't have any problems with any comedians. I've never had any problems with comedians. Like, what are you talking about? He's had a problem with every single comedian that's more successful than him. Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, me, Tony Hinchcliffe, everybody that passes him, all of a sudden he talks about them on stage. And the Theo thing really drove me nuts because that sent Theo into a real spiral.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Theo went into a spiral, and that was a
Really?
big part of him getting attacked was Maron talking about him on a special, saying that he'd have Hitler on his podcast. Well, why is he saying that? Does he think that's true? Does he think that
Yes.
Theo has anybody on his fucking show,
Right.
including Bernie Sanders?
He does think it's
He
true.
tries to learn.
He'll
But then,
talk
Mr.
to people,
Rogan.
and he will talk to anybody on his podcast. That's not what the thing is. The thing is that Maron's podcast, which was #1, isn't even in the top 100 anymore. I don't even think it's in the top 200. It went away.
And I think Mark definitely
Okay, I think the point is, once again, I didn't hear the joke, but I assume the joke is that Theo Von could have Hitler on his show, but not ask him about the Holocaust. The thing that, once again, sure, in a way, it would make him look bad, right? But more importantly, it's like that is the question you have to ask because that's what Hitler's known for. If you avoid it, it's like you're giving a cushy fucking interview, which is what you're accused of, Rogan, as well. At least that's what I'm saying. And it's like, actually, it's like, once again, it's mostly a joke when I say it. I assume it's a joke when Marc Maron says it. But if you actually look at it, like, what if Hitler was around, but no one knew about the Holocaust yet? But there's like suspicions that this guy's a bad dude. It's like they would get cushy fucking interviews on both these guys' shows, most likely. On Rogan's and on Theo Von's show, I think they would. And it's just like, wow. Stand back in amazement. But, all right.
Honestly, I think you could say the same thing about anybody that's really in that like bro podcasting sphere, even tangentially. So I got to put people like Tim Pool under this umbrella too.
Oh yes. Tim Pool, Steven Crowder. Those guys would knowingly work for Hitler.
Yeah.
But also clean their hands when he gets caught doing something horrible.
I had nothing to do with it. Too.
I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it. Right. Those are the real, like, really, like, Weasley, schemy little fuck faces that
Bunch
people
of
give
fucking
passes
slime
to.
balls.
Yeah. In my humble opinion. All right, let's continue.
Definitely is bitter. Like, he hates how successful Rogan's podcast and comedy career are. But some of his criticism is valid, and it's just hilarious that he's getting to Rogan this much. Like, Rogan even mentions a Reddit post he saw about how bad Mark's podcast is, which, if he's on there, he should also see what Reddit thinks of his podcast. You know, of course, every post about Rogan that's negative is from a jealous hater, but if it's a negative post about Marc Maron, it's legit criticism. But even though Rogan does get a lot of criticism, he obviously still is a way more successful podcaster than Mark, which I believe Mark is definitely bitter about. I think he even admits that.
People just stop being interested in it. And I think that hurts the most. And
why did they stop being interested?
It's not good. Here's a part of it. Like, the conversations that he has are fine, but the beginning of the podcast is these like self-indulgent rants about life and him doing things. And there's a thread dedicated on like Reddit where people fast forward to the time, like they give you the time
Marc Maron is Lenny
of
Bruce.
when he's done ranting, so you could just get to the interview because nobody wants to hear it. Like it's an inside.
I guess that's what we're going with, Jordan.
Yeah,
Marc
joke.
Maron is Lenny Bruce.
But it just the reality is it's like Theo passed him, like rocketed past him, and now he has like the number 2 or number 3 podcast in the world.
And then Rogan starts trashing Maron's comedy career, like he was not holding back during this episode. And he mentions how he's pissed it never really took off and he feels like he deserves more success. And then Joe mentions how sad Maron's fans are and brings up that he has the record for most single seats sold to a comedy show. So Rogan was really prepared with ways to trash Maron. I mean, I don't know how you could pretend like he's above feeding into beefs or attacking comics anymore. I mean, I get why Rogan would want to respond to him and trash him. You know, it's fair game. But you can't act like you're above it all at the same time. I mean, like I played in the beginning, before he starts going on this rant, he's like, man, I could go off on every person that's ever wronged me, but I don't engage in that kind of thing. You know, it's just bad for you. It's unhealthy. And then he proceeds to just go off on Marc Maron for 20 minutes. You know, it's like he was trying his best to hold himself back, and he knew he shouldn't go off on Mark, but he just couldn't help it.
Maron never developed an audience for his comedy, and he always felt like he deserved it. And that's what drove him the most nuts. He always felt like he deserved it. But it's like you deserve what you get. You know what he has a record for? One of those ticket things, whether it's Ticketmaster or whatever one. Number 1 for selling single seats.
That's interesting.
Oh,
that's really interesting. So
people with no friends.
That's interesting.
Bruh.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Sad people.
That sounds like petty diss track shit.
This is fucking schoolyard bullshit. Fuck out of here. This is the kind of shit that would usually get trimmed out of a diss track because it's too on the nose.
You know, I know what's gonna happen, Joe. It's gonna create a whole thing where it's Joe Rogan versus Marc Maron, I guess again. But meanwhile, they're both mediocre. It's like Rogan has Trump on and tongue bathes him. Marc Maron has Obama on and tongue bathes him. But they're going to be the two standout heroes of it all. Like, people are going to pick teams based on these two motherfuckers. And it's like, holy fuck, we are so fucked.
That just gave me a really good idea, Jordan. We're going to have a slap fight between Joe Rogan and Marc Maron, and a slap fight between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. We're going to make it a double feature. And Dana White would jump on this shit in half a minute.
I'm going to say pause for every single thing you just said right there. But also, You got to pick Rogan, right? He's on too much TRT, too much HGH and shit like that. Like he trains and stuff. For sure. And Marc Maron looks like some like old gangly man. Like he just he barely lifts like TV remotes, basically. Like he just is a tiny dude, right? Like Rogan's short, but he's like stocky. Pause. And he's on the roids, so he's gonna fuck him up, bro. When it
You
comes
never know,
to
Jordan. You ever see what happens when when an otherwise wispy little dude just develops the strength of the insane?
maybe,
That's led to some shit that I can't explain.
I mean, with the lack of brain cells that Rogan has, like there's not too many lights you have to turn off, right? So maybe you would KO pretty fast. I don't know. And then
He could have a glass jaw for all I fucking know.
possibly, and then Trump and Obama. That's interesting because Obama's like he's probably in better shape conditioning wise. Like might be stronger too. Like Trump's like just out of it, man. Like he's not looking good at all. Pause.
Oh yeah, he can barely get up the fucking stairs.
So I'm gonna give Obama the win just on stamina. Like he'll
And not having chronic venous insufficiency.
like both are gonna hit
You
like
recording, Jordan?
yes.
Hey, Anthony.
Anyways,
My bad. You recording? My bad.
I don't give a shit, dude. It's Rogan and Marc Maron beefing.
Oh, I fucking hit, bro. 190.
You motherfucker.
How many bets
Yeah,
did you
I
go
didn't even know,
wager?
dude. Yo, the Broncos saved me, bro. The Broncos they hit everything in the fourth quarter.
They won? Holy fuck! I might have hit
Yeah,
too.
they won. They came
I
back
saw-
from a 10-point deficit.
I saw 19-0. I said I'm out of here, and I'm like I'm gonna do a video.
Dude, it was 20. Yeah. I guess 19-0 is bad. It was 26-16 with 4 minutes left. They scored 10 unanswered points.
Oh, God bless the Giants. God bless you, you poor souls.
Yeah.
Terrible football team. God bless you.
I can't believe I hit for 190 for $1, bro.
I want to check back. Look at the stats when I'm done here, but
Yeah, my bad. I'll
you're
show
good,
you the
you're good.
ticket later.
You're good. Dude, okay, here's my final analysis here. Obama hits like a pussy. Trump hits like a pussy. But Obama's in a little bit better shape, so he won't get knocked out as fast. So I gave Obama the win. That's what I'm going with. Anyways, let's go back to this video. Someone's got to do some analysis around here, okay? All right, here
Might
we
as
go.
well be us.
Exactly. Here we go.
Sad people that identify with the way he behaves. But the proof is in the pudding. Do people come to see you? Do you put asses in seats? Do they enjoy the time?
My mind's
Or
on FanDuel,
is it
Rogan.
an angry
Better say something
bomb
interesting.
where you're on stage ranting about other comedians?
You got 10 seconds,
man,
Joe. Say something
and he
good.
does that all the time. Tim Dillon was just saying he was doing that in L.A. the other day, just ranting about all the comedians that are at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which is all like legitimate area of
Pause it,
criticism
Jordan.
if you can make it funny.
Just for the record, because I don't expect Tim Dillon to admit to this shit in public. He accepted the offer to go over there, but then when somebody in their morality police or whatever the fuck found out that he was making jokes about how there's slavery in Saudi Arabia, they rescinded the invitation.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people in the Rogan sphere or comedy sphere, yeah, they're aware of that. I've seen that too. But,
How much is your integrity worth? For Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr, it was $1.6 million. That's the price of their integrity. For Tim Dillon, I think it was $375,000.
I mean, well, I heard of it. I didn't look too much into it, honestly. I assume they were given like a, hey, you guys can't say this stuff, right? And they were like, all right, I won't say that stuff. Is that the idea?
Pretty much.
Okay. That's trash.
Just another step in their whitewashing exercise. And Tim Dillon's mad because he didn't get to go, so now he's going to try to turn that into an act and see if he can recoup some of that money. It's
I don't
baby
know.
shit.
I don't know, but yeah, I didn't really. I don't know. I didn't think about it too hard. I saw what was going on. I heard people complaining about it.
It's exactly as stupid and horrible as you think it is.
Fair enough. But yeah, Rogan just said, well, okay. Rogan was just talking about that comedy festival, right? And then he's like, well, there's some room for criticism, and you can make it funny. It's like, what are we talking about then? What are we talking about? All right,
The fuck are we doing?
here we go.
The fuck are we
Ranting
doing,
about the
Joe?
comedians that are at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which is all, like legitimate area of criticism if you can make it funny. Like, you're working for the
Save
Saudi
those young
government,
men
and
now
you've
in
definitely done some
fucking
stuff that's
Saudi
fucking
Arabia.
horrible. The root of it all is not real. It's not that he cares so
Let 'em
much
see
that
cleavage
he
before
wants
they fucking go
everyone
crazy.
to do the right thing. That's not it. It's he's upset that all these people are getting attention. He's upset that it's very childish. But he'll make it look like, he's the righteous side, the left, the progressives. He's the voice now, and he's going to fucking, we got work to do. We got to get these fascists
Member of the left
out.
here. We don't claim
but
Tim
it's about
Dillon.
him getting more attention. That's what it ultimately is all about. And that's unfortunate. And I'm not mad at him. And if I saw him and I talked to him, we were cool, I'd give him a hug.
Yeah, so maybe they could just hug it out.
What? I'm not mad at him, but you said all these things, which you just basically said, like, he's a jealous little fuck. Basically, he's jealous of, not jealous of, like, some other shit, jealous of just your success. And I wonder if he means envy, which is a little bit different, where it's like, not only am I mad at you got something, like, I kind of want it to go away from, I want it taken away from you. No, I guess he was saying just jealousy, right? Because he said when Marc Maron was successful, he was the nicest guy in the world. But he also said when someone passed him, he got really upset and maybe envious, where it's like, I don't want you to have that shit. It's mine. I want it.
It should have been me, not him.
But then the little subtle throw in, the left progressive, some sort of hero for them. It's like, as he's talking to Barack Obama, neoliberal king Barack Obama.
Joe Rogan can't fucking help himself. Everything bad or stupid or just annoying is the left, the left, the left, the left, the left.
Really? I would not even expect that from Rogan. I really wouldn't. Although I've heard that thing, what we just heard right there, but that's more of like Timmy.
It's not as bad as Tim Pool or like those fucking clown car idiots on Fox News, but it's enough to bother me.
Fair enough. Okay.
Apparently the left in the Rogan verse is just an umbrella for every crazy, ridiculous thing that happens.
Well, if that's the case, then Rogan became the thing that he said he would never be. He said he originally said, I want to be like a fly on the wall and let these guys say things that will like either show something interesting about themselves or expose them if they're doing something wrong. Meanwhile, he's just adopting their worldview and language, right? Seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty sad. But let's hear Too Lazy to Try conclude this video, which actually ended up being interesting. I thought it was going to be straight gossip, he said, she said, strictly, and bullshit like that. But it's actually something there to make interesting to me, at least. All right, let's conclude the video. Here we go.
Out and do a podcast together, and we can't have the last line of defense fighting with each other like this. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure this is just going to escalate, and other comedians will probably chime in and start beefing. So it's definitely going to make comedy way more interesting. But let me know what you guys think. And if you want to hear about how Rogan's good friend Duncan Trussell and Theo Vaughn have been spiraling recently, I've been covering that over on my Patreon. And I recently just posted a big video about how MAGA is really pissed at Joe now too, because they feel like he's turned on Trump. So the Rogan sphere is basically in shambles right now. And to stay updated, make sure you check out my Patreon. There'll be a link in the description.
It's just
Oh. Now, to be fair, once again, his name is Too Lazy to Try. And I'm a lazy person too. But I don't hear so much substance, which might be why, which might make it easy to listen to, kind of. It's almost like he's not even there. And you're essentially just watching this Joe Rogan clip. Right? It's like Rogan talking, right? But this guy's aware of, as I'm aware of, when I try to do videos where Rogan's featured it, or Rogan podcast is featured in it, there's copyright. I've had several videos blocked because it played too much of Joe Rogan's podcast. Even if I'm doing the whole fair use thing, right, where it's a 10-minute clip and I turn it into 3 hours of discussion, where it's like, how could you call this copyright? Obviously, we're adding our own original ideas to it, right? But what this guy does, seemingly, is play part of the clip where it's Rogan actually talking, and then in between the clips, it's him saying what's more more of the stuff that's happening within the actual clip of this this segment or the JRE clip that he used, right? He's just kind of giving the synopsis of what's being said there, and adding some background stuff, right? But it's not much to it, not much depth to it. Maybe that neutrality is actually the reason for his success over the stuff. Yeah, okay. I like to just be very opinionated and try to bring in ideas that maybe people haven't thought about before or whatever. But a little bit, I don't know. It's just very it's interesting content. That's not my cup of tea exactly, but guess what? He brings the Rogan clips, and he knows exactly what are the cutoffs for before the cutoffs before you get fucking copyrighted and the video blocked. You know what? It's a happy medium here. I'll say that. I'll give him credit for that. But all right, before I end this, Joe, anything you want to say in general about anything?
I'm good.
Awesome. All right, there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment. Agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comments section about any of this stuff. The original news stories that were in there, and then this Rogan portion, which I actually think is kind of interesting. Pretty interesting. And I'm seeing the lineup that could be something very dangerous, potentially. Because we saw, even though Rogan's been more critical of Trump, I guess, as of recent, but him kind of boosting up Trump with the interview and the, no fucking real pushback.
No pushback whatsoever. That's a big part of what got us here.
Yeah. And then you have Marc Maron with Barack Obama, where I assume there was no pushback. Let's just be honest. Otherwise, Obama might not do the fucking interview if it was otherwise. And trust me, there's plenty of things to do pushback on. Trust me. If these two become their own little teams, people start picking teams based on these two motherfuckers. It's damn, it feels like you're almost ending up with, hey, pick Trump or pick Obama, which is two disasters to me. It's yeah.
If that's where we end up, then we're in some real fucking trouble.
Yeah, that's a lot of dead bodies, no matter who wins.
Not that we aren't already in a whole world of shit here.
Yeah. And my guess is if it's Rogan versus Maron and people pick sides with that, it's a lot of intellectual and cultural dead bodies. Not physical dead bodies, but brain deading. So I think that's something to actually look out for. And that's what made this clip interesting to me, at least. But you tell me in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, and hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. There's also a Discord if you want to join that. All opinions welcome. I don't know if people realize this, but Discord is free. It's not like Patreon where you have to pay money to join some thingy and get extra content. It's a free service because sometimes maybe some of the older people don't know that. I'm just saying, Discord is a free application you can use, and you can talk in text, talk in voice. You can play movies, play music, react to videos. I wouldn't give a shit if someone like, all right, so I'm using the YellBro Discord to record my videos. You know, like I'm gonna do my videos through here. I wouldn't even give a fuck. Like, cool. Like, are you being honest? Do you mean what you're doing? Like, you're being authentic about it? Awesome. If you weren't being authentic about it, I'd still let you do it, but I'd question you about it. And I'll annoy you, trust me. I've annoyed many a people doing this. It is what it is.
I can confirm I've been there for plenty of instances of that. Always a good time.
Yeah. But either way, Discord, join it if you feel like. All opinions are welcome. And then obviously all the clips you saw here, the Twitter links, this video, all will be linked in the description box for whatever you want to do. You can research it. You can look back into it. You can avoid me and Joe talking on the video and just watch your own fucking version. Watch the Too Lazy to Try version by itself. Whatever. The point is about getting the information out there more than anything. So please take advantage of the description box. And with all that said, the most important thing you could possibly do right now in your entire life, it'll haunt you in eternity if you don't do this. Give this video a thumbs down. Ah.